Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Six Show. My name's Chris Wong. Yes, I did read the Wall Street Journal article, and I'm going to give you my first impressions. Woke up this morning, really, and like I said, I was trying to wake up every morning to see if it would drop, and it did. And it did, and it was I wouldn't say, at first, I'd say it was pretty catastrophic. I mean, I was like trying to make my kids lunch, trying to read the article over and over. Thank you, Vinoldo7, for linking that up without me having, to pay the subscribership to read that article on a desktop. Because I believe you have to pay. But it was pretty discouraging at first. You read it, and I read it. I've read it, I gotta say, I read it about 20 times over and over, and I'm like, this thing is so simple. It was a simple article. Like, there was not too much depth to it. And first of all, I want to apologize to the fandom. I want to sincerely, deeply apologize for adding to this negative piece about the Snyder Cut movement. I want to really apologize. When the Wall Street Journal first contacted me, I was pretty optimistic. As you know, I'm a pretty optimistic guy. But I was really optimistic seeing how, all right, an actual trade wants to know about the Snyder Cut movement, right? And then when you get deeper into, having a Wall Street Journal at that time, about years ago, I'd say, when the first Justice League was announced, Warner Brothers had gotten utilized Wall Street Journal to announce Zack Snyder being the director of Justice League, right? And you saw that, and you're like, okay, maybe it's a good article. Maybe he wants to do something important here. And so I got to talk to the guy. Of course, he was on the bus, and we've disconnected calls many times. In fact, I don't think he even finished the interview, because the last thing I said, which I'm trying to remember now, was about Hall H, and then he got cut off, and he never called back. So I says, oh, okay, maybe he's got everything he needed. But, whatever. So he used 2 lines out of a over half an hour interview. So I like to say he skipped like 98% or like 90% of my, or even 99%. I mean, very little from what we talked about. He disregarded the comments that I've read from Jay Oliva, everything we've learned about the Snyder Cut, everything we learn now about how the actors and actresses, he disregarded, a lot of things. I mean, everything we know about the actors and actresses coming out saying they would like to see it, Snyder himself, all that was just thrown out. I mean, just completely thrown out. And that is disappointing, very disappointing for a Wall Street Journal. But then you got me thinking about Wall Street Journal. What have they done lately for, YouTube influencers? Remember PewDiePie? How they put him in a negative light regarding Nazis and stuff like that, which anti-Semitic. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen PewDiePie's videos that clearly was joking. Remember, even Philip DeFranco also said things about Wall Street Journal that make you come aware that, are they becoming a site who are seeing that their existence of the paper is being diminished, and now their digital, which they've just got into, is being diminished by influencers out there? So there's that. And you think, well, no, men are still good, and I still believe that men are still good, but not this guy, Mr. Ben Fritz, who completely took words to, in a way, put us in a crazy cultist light. And he is doubling down on things like the Snyder Cut does not exist, the rough cut, the assembly cut, where we've already, in a way, proven that it is longer than that. He even puts in the fact about the Whedon reshoots, about Zack Snyder was going to do the exact same shoots that Whedon was proposing, and yet we already know that the Russian family didn't exist. These are based on facts. These are based on the same quotes, the same execs that were in charge of Warner Brothers before Walter Hamada came in. Those are the same people. These publicists or whoever he's talking to could very much well be the same people, and they don't have any new information. Where are the names? Senior executive? Well, what's his name? Why is it that when something official announced from Warner Brothers, they have a name called, I don't know, Toby Emmerich? Sometimes they'll have a quote from Toby Emmerich, a quote from Walter Hamada, a quote from Kevin Sujihara. When those full announcements come out, they have names to them. The only names right here are mine, Fiona, Diogo, I'm sorry, I don't really, DCU Movie Page, which I've talked to. Awesome name, by the way. But those are the names. They don't even have Jay Oliva's name in there. Apparently, Jay Oliva had an interview with him. I didn't know that until Jay Oliva said today that his interview was totally squashed. To fit this negative narrative, to paint this in this light, is Wall Street Journal, Ben Fritz, trying to cash in on the Snyder Cut clicks? Because it really seems that way. The spokesperson he talked to about some person who was involved with the film saying, what is the meaning of this dream or whatever, the Snyder Cut? There is no such thing. Almost sounds like the same guy that been talking to him, Bertle. And but they have no names. And why don't they have names? Now, I'm not trying to give your hopes up or anything like that, or say hopeful things, but we have to kind of look into this a little bit further. We have to see this now as another blog site in which totally squashes my thinking that hopes that it was. My initial thoughts, and I've already said this, that I hope I did not help this negative article. And I did. I inadvertently helped this negative article. I inadvertently helped us paint, and I sincerely apologize for that. He really did do what I thought he would do, was take a couple lines and put it in a negative context, without context for that matter. And it is disappointing to hear this from this man. Yeah. I should have known better. I mean, when he said that all he's heard there was a rough cut, assembly cut, and if I thought Warner Bros. Being dishonest, the back of my mind was like, something's wrong. But it was already too late. I've already given my voice, and it's out there. Whatever. I have thick skin. I don't care. But I just am very sorry that I had put my words into that article. Where is the journalistic integrity anymore? This is nothing more than an onion piece. This is nothing more than his opinion with quotes taken from fans, taken from people like Fiona, Diogo, and me, for people who are just fans. No names. We put our names in there. He put our names in there, but we're really no names. The people you have to look into right now, when you reread this article 20 times like I have, there is only 3 things I can spot out from that thing. 1, the senior executive at the end. Well, who is he? Why doesn't he want to share his name? Whedon has not said anything. Whedon declined to comment. A spokeswoman for Snyder said that he hasn't discussed anything about director's cut. He hasn't discussed, meaning he hasn't revealed anything. And third and lastly, this is not a Warner Brothers sanctioned article at all. This is Ben Fritz trying to get into the Snyder Cut clickbait game. He has turned into Heroic Hollywood. It could be because their trades are dying. Their entertainment articles are no longer quite valid. He wants to be up there with Variety, with the Hollywood Reporter. He wants to be up there. And this is how he's trying to do it. Well, now you've just taken your article and your site down towards the level of bloggers that we've come to shun. Heroic Hollywood. Comicbook.com. Very disappointing, Ben Fritz. Has this derailed my faith? Nah. I can honestly say at first I was sad, disgruntled, even angry. But I think this just fueled us more. Thank you for proving our point that we definitely need this Snyder Cut movement more than ever. And I can't do it alone. Fiona can't do it alone. Diogo can't do it alone. Jay Oliva can't do it alone. We need you more than ever, people. We need you more than ever. The Wall Street Journal article is not Warner Brothers' statement. When they give a name, when they have enough courage to come out and face us in a Variety or Hollywood Reporter article with a quote, and I quote, from Toby Emmerich, from Kevin Tsujihara, from Walter Hamada, and a statement from even Zack Snyder to tell us that the Snyder Cut is dead, we shall keep fighting, and I will not falter from this. Release the Snyder Cut!